The U.S. government has partially shut down after Congress failed to agree a spending plan in a dramatic showdown over border enforcement following last weekend's shooting in Minneapolis. The Senate voted late Friday to improve or approve 5 appropriation bills and a continuing resolution funding the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks, a concession to Democrats demanding immigration enforcement reforms and a brushback against President Donald Trump's aggressive deportation tactics. The bill passed by a 71-29 margin, with independent Bernie Sanders and 5 Republicans, Ted Cruz, Ron Johnson, Mike Lee, Rand Paul, and Rick Scott, joining 23 Democrats in voting no. This shutdown is said to be less complete than the record 43-day one that happened late last year. And so to discuss this, we're joined by global affairs analyst Ejike Okpa, who joins us from Dallas, Texas. Ms. Okpa, it's good to have you on the news. Just to what extent do these protests signal a crisis of legitimacy in U.S. Domestic governance with international repercussions?
That's a mouthful of questions there. I don't think, you have to reward illegal acts, with legal accommodation. If people came to America illegally and they've been given an opportunity to self-deport, they haven't, they have to be thrown out. There's, people are entitled to protest, they're entitled to express their opinions and views by marching, but there is nowhere, even in the basic contract of law, you don't reward illegal conduct with the illegal one. So I think the people who are protesting, they have the rights to do it. But, for me, if you come into my home, you're uninvited, I'm going to throw you out. And that's what America is doing. Trump is not the first president to deport. Obama did that deportation. Obama still holds the record of having deported most illegal immigrants. So I don't know why, the anguish against Trump. It's just because he's Trump, and it's because he's doing it. People talk about it, and then he's the only one, that stood up to do it. Our border is not, almost 100% secured. So no longer people coming in just because they want to go to America. No.
Right. How closely are global audiences and foreign governments interpreting these demonstrations as a measure of U.S. democratic health?
Well, it's healthy for us. I live in Dallas. We don't have protests. My neighborhood is secure, so people are free to interpret whatever they want. America is not... The global people didn't elect President Trump. Americans elected him with 77 million votes. So he's doing what those people who elected him wants him to do. So whatever the world is interpreting, it's up to them. But I think it's a shame on countries that, because of their own way of managing their own economy, that force other people to leave their country to want to go somewhere else. Just like, people from the, southern border of America coming in through Mexico. It is up to the Mexican people to say, what is it that we can do so that most of our citizens can stay back? I met a one-time president of Mexico, and I asked him, I said, you keep blaming America for enforcing immigration law. Why don't you do something to make sure that your people stay back home and help you build your economy? He had no answer for me. Just say, America is an immigration country. Yes, we are an immigrant nation, but we are about the illegal immigration, not illegal immigration.
And what do you say to the tactic at which ICE have gone about enforcing illegal immigrations and deportation? What do you say to those tactics that are being used that have resulted to death?
No, I don't think the tactics is out of order. People have been given the choice of self-deportation. In fact, they even offer them money. Take some money and go home. Maybe you can re-enter America. But if you are deported, there's a limitation. You're going to be fingerprinted. You're going to be, your record are going to be taken. If you want to enter America again, it's going to be almost impossible. So the tactics is, hey, we're giving you the choice to go, and you haven't gone. We're going to come and remove you physically. And I don't have any problem with that.
Right.
Again,
yeah, but there's also the matter of human rights violations, right? And profiling that we've seen so far in this tactic, approaching brown and black people, asking them to show, their legitimacy or whether or not they are U.S. citizens, and just, barging into people's home with what looks, with weapons that look like it should be in war fronts and not, at home.
No, that's just an undue sentiment. If people are given the opportunity to go and they haven't, we are entitled to use whatever force that is necessary and constitutionally approved, to remove them. So, the Homeland Security guns are issued by them, by government. And so whether anybody interprets it as a gun to be used in a war, that is totally irrelevant. The point is that if you come into a country illegally and you keep to violate their rules, you have no civil rights entitlement. You have civil rights can be entitled for people who come legally, but those who intentionally broke into America have no civil rights. They have to be removed.
How might a partial U.S. government shutdown, relate when it comes to just Washington and its governance, and just be the breakdown of governance and civil governance as well? What do you think about this recent partial government shutdown?
Well, I mean, look, we're in an election, midterm election time. By next month, we're going to start making nominations for who's going to run in January. So, every party, the party's going to push, when they think this is going to favor their own base, they're going to do what it is, they want to do. This is the federal government. It's not affecting our state government. This is, and it's one of those horse trading things you do. At the end of the day, they're going to come to a resolution. The Democrats are going to seek every opportunity available to them, to slow down the process in appropriations so that they can get what they want. We'll see how that goes. But the president has a special rights. He can fund these agencies until the Congress comes to term and makes the full appropriation.
All right. Mr. Okpa, I must say thank you for taking out the time to join us. Ejike Okpa, the Global Affairs Analyst, joining us live from Dallas, Texas.